Hey guys, Miss Swetna here. A few weeks ago, we had a parent night, and in one of those sessions, we talked specifically about how to create a plan if you're behind on how to catch up. And I thought it'd be helpful to recreate that discussion here for some of you who may not have been able to attend, or for those who attended but maybe wanted a refresher. So I have called this session Creating a Plan. So parents, you're going to need to log in using your student's account. And once you log in, click on the course and you'll have your screen will look like this here on the screen. And you're going to want to click on Organizer. Okay, it's kind of hidden in the top right corner. Once you click on Organizer, you'll have this screen will pop up. Look towards the bottom, you'll see a couple different buttons, and you're going to click on Reports. In here, you have several different tools. Right now, specifically, we're going to look at the progress report. But if you have not played around with this, I highly recommend playing with the different tools in here. If you click on scores and feedback, you can see a list of all of their scores for a certain class. And even though it doesn't say it, if you click across the top, like if you click on grade, it'll automatically sort them with the lowest grade on top. I find that really helpful. The assignment calendar is also really helpful because it will tell you exactly all the assignments that need to be done for the week in order to stay on track. Just keep in mind you have to manually change the week number. So some students will look at it and go, I've done everything for this week. And you have to say, well, is that this week or was that 3 weeks ago or maybe the first week of school? The attendance log is also a huge one right here because you can click on that and see exactly when a student logged in and what they did, like what subject they worked on and how many activities they worked on. And keep in mind, just an easy general rule of thumb, we want to try to aim for 15 activities per day. And remember that and that's different for every student, but that an activity is not just a lesson. A whole lesson actually contains several activities. So a warm up is considered an activity, practice, quiz, direct instruction, even a test. Those are each their own single activity. So back to what we're talking about here. Click on progress report, and you'll see something like this for each class. So first, let's talk about what all these numbers even mean. The complete grade is the percentage of the content that has been completed up to this point. The target completion is how much should have been completed up to this point. So a whole class is, when you're finished, is 100%. So it's kind of like a 100-page book. And the percent complete tells you what page number they're on. It doesn't tell you how well they understand what they've done, just how far they've gotten. And the target is how far they should have gotten to at this point. All right. The overall grade tells us how well they've done on the percent that they've completed. So they may have completed 80% of the class, or in this case on the screen, this person's completed 20% of the class, and they've demonstrated an understanding at about 73% accuracy. So the work they're turning in is passing, but they're slightly behind where they should be. And so that's why if you look at the actual grade is a 63, which is failing, right? Because that's because it's including zeros for any missing assignments. Now remember, we don't give penalties for late assignments. This is just giving you an idea of what should have been completed up to this point and putting zeros in for those assignments. The actual grade is the one that gets reported on progress reports, so it is important to look at that one. So the point of this presentation though is to really make a plan of what do I need to do to finish. So here's an example of one class, somebody's physics class, and we're going to look at the bottom half of this report where it says how many quizzes, how many tests, how many assignments are in there. So you can see there are 27 total quizzes for this whole class. Each quiz is a lesson, right? Each lesson ends with a quiz, so you have to do like a warm up, instruction, practice, lab, quiz. So we can look at this and go, okay, this person has taken 20 quizzes. There are 27 total, so how many are left? 7, right? So they have 7 lessons remaining. They also have 4 tests remaining, and they have an exam. So we're just going to look at those first 3 categories because the assignments and the labs are kind of wrapped into the quizzes with what we're about to talk about. So if you take the number of quizzes that you have left, the number of tests, the exam, and then if it applies, an essay, add those all up and you get the total number of days of work remaining. And I call that a day because at this point we're getting close to the finish line, right? We're going to work really hard to finish an entire lesson every day, or a test, or an essay. So what does this really look like? Um, I took a look at one student's progress report, and then I just opened an Excel document and created a quick spreadsheet. Put in how many lessons or quizzes were left, how many tests, the exam, and you see that English had an essay. And then I just added those up straight across to figure out how many days of work remained. So this student could, if the student works really really hard and finishes an entire lesson a day, she could finish biology in 14 days. Do you see that? And then English in 17 days. That would be doing one whole lesson or a test every day. This is doable, right? Um, notice next to French, I put some question marks, and that's because I don't have access to see how many lessons are left in there. And so your student needs to log into that class and show you. You have to go into PowerSpeak and then tell them to click on the red apple. And if you click on the red apple, that should show you how many assignments are remaining or how many maybe are past due. So the language classes are a little bit different. And if you need help with those, though, Miss Mason is awesome and I'm sure she'll help you out with those. And I'd be happy to get you in touch with her if you don't already know Miss Mason. So after you figure out how many assignments you have left or how many days of work you have left, I recommend using a template such as the one on the screen and creating a schedule. I've uploaded some of these to our Impact webpage, but if you can't find them or just don't want to even look for them, just email me and I'll be happy to send it to you as an attachment. I do see a typo on the screen though, and that is our website is /IA, not IS. It's /IA as in Impact Academy. Okay, so the next screen is an example of a schedule I created with a student and her father. We sat down and notice it doesn't even, no work even starts until 11, and that's because we're trying to be realistic. The student said she doesn't really even wake up till 10, so that gives her time to like kind of wake up, take a shower, or eat breakfast, and then work in 2 hour segments. You have to really see what works for your student, but this is a good place to start. Notice that she kind of rotates which classes she works on every day and that there are small breaks worked in. And at the end of the day, there's a 2 hour block where she works again, but she gets to pick what she wants to work on. And hopefully this schedule will work for her. After about a week of this schedule, we will look back at her progress and see what we need to tweak. Maybe she's decided she wants to start waking up earlier and or taking less breaks, or maybe taking more breaks but shorter breaks. And that's really the key, is that keeping that constant communication going with your student and saying, okay, what have you done today? What worked? What didn't work? What can we change about tomorrow? And after a few days of that, give them kind of hands off for a couple of days and then say, okay, you've had 3 days to work on your own. How have the last 3 days gone? And it's kind of training wheels, right? We want to help train them to create these schedules and tweak their schedules for themselves. I also find it really helpful to keep these, when you make a schedule, keep it nearby, maybe like right next to them where they're working, so they can jot down what they've done, or they can see what's coming up ahead. We all like to know what our day looks like, right? Or I do, at least. I make to-do lists like crazy. So they can see what the rest of their day is going to look like. And make notes about what they actually do, so that when you do sit down to tweak it, you have more information. Maybe they don't like working in 2 hour spurts. Maybe they want to do 3 hour spurts, but less of them. Anyway, I hope this helps, and I've put my email address back up here on the screen. Please feel free to email me, give me comments about this presentation, what can make it better, or let me know if it helped you. Also, if you want me to work with you personally to come up with a plan, I'd be happy to do that. That's what we're here for. We want to help. So thanks for watching. Bye.